You know, it was such a nice day outside. Who needs a locker room? Have your team meetings under a tree and get some fresh air. Why not? Wheatland at Lyman, first quarter. Wheatland wearing the white, and on defense, Tegan Finnerty will sack Riker Bess, but he got a little carried away and grabbed the face mask. The yellow hankies were a huge problem during the first half. They had about roughly 15 or so. Bad dogs. However, the Bulldogs did have some good defensive plays. Bess has to get rid of the ball to avoid the pressure. He would overthrow his target, but he did not overthrow Josh Madsen, who will fetch himself an interception, now to see if his offense could do anything with it. The answer to that question was no, as Lyman's defense responded. Coulter Fotheringham knocks the ball loose, Preston Quinney makes the recovery, and that would put his team back in business, and we're right back where we started at the beginning of this game. The Eagles, though, had some problems dealing with the blitz. Bess is being chased, and down he goes. Nathan Willis and Justice Borton team up for that sack, and there was more where that came from. Same possession, similar result. Willis comes in untouched. He would slow down Bess just long enough for Josh Calvert to finish the job, and we would have a pair of zeros on the scoreboard after the first 12 minutes. Second quarter, more defense. Bess was a little tired of getting sacked, so he tried to take matters into his own hands. Not a bad idea, but there was one problem on this attempt. Preston Gunter forces the fumble, Borton will fall on the ball, and the Bulldog will pick himself up a few defensive treats. However, the visitors were having their share of problems on offense as well. Daniel Chesser tries the QB draw, but he's going back into the doghouse. Braden Buskell got to him first. Drew Rollins and Clayton Peden will provide the assist, and that play resulted in negative yardage. Now, this highlight was one of the better plays, but something went wrong. Chesser dumps the ball to Dylan Make, and he's going to make everything out of nothing. He'll cut to the far sideline, turn on the Jets, and go 54 yards to the promised land, only to be denied by one of his teammates. Wheatland got called for ineligible receiver downfield, no touchdown. At times, they were their own worst enemy. Meanwhile, the defense would continue to deliver. In fact, they would feast on Bess. He would elude Borton, but Willis and Brandon Zimmerman had his back. They would catch a break and block a punt and recover at the Lyman 3. Sorry, we don't have that. We did not get a good look. Last play before halftime, the visitors trying to cash in on the opportunity. Chesser is going to roll to his left. There goes his target. It was Austin Huffer, who was wide open in the back of the end zone. He got his feet down, and that's good. It's a 5-yard touchdown, and we have some points. It was 7-0 going into the break. Third quarter, Wheatland was knocking on the door again, and they did a great job of cleaning up the penalties, but there was still a little problem with turnovers. Chesser was relieved of his duties at the 3 by Braden Jaggy, and Jaggy ended up getting the recovery as well, but the Eagles could not do anything with the ball that deep in their own territory and had to punt it away. Later, the Bulldogs were back on the attack. Chesser is going to get chased, and he's in big trouble. Quinney would be the one to drag him down. The pass ended up being no good, as the ref ruled the knee was down before Chesser got rid of the ball, so he has been sacked. It was still a 7-zip score going into the final 12 minutes. Fourth quarter, the home team kept trying to fly, but they just could not get the right elevation. Bess is going to be picked off by Huffer, who will get a pretty good return on this, back to the 40, but they could not cash in and eventually had to give the ball back. Time is starting to become a factor, and Lyman needs points rather than turnovers, and that's easier said than done. That pass was a bit too high. Huffer has himself another INT, and he's returning it into enemy territory. The visitors were in the right spot to put the finishing touches on this game. Less than 30 seconds to go. They probably could have just kneeled on the ball, but they took no chances. Finnerty fights his way in from 4 yards away to add a little insurance to the cause. PAT no good, so the score is 13-0, and this game is in hand. The Eagles gave it one last try, even though the deficit was insurmountable, and it was not meant to be. Here is turnover number 5 as Gunter snags that pass away. It was not a pretty win for Wheatland by any means, but it is the start of the season, and a win is a win. Final score, 13-zip.